Beyond the mirror. Steroids, influencers, and the everyday athlete. In the world of fitness and self-improvement, a silent revolution is taking place, far from Olympic stadiums and professional arenas. On social media feeds and inside gyms, performance-enhancing drugs, especially anabolic steroids, are increasingly used by everyday individuals from casual gym-goers to fitness influencers. Originally intended for medical or elite sports use, anabolic-androgenic steroids have expanded into aesthetic and recreational domains, reshaping not only bodies, but also cultural expectations of masculinity, performance, and success. Research shows that as many as 21% of surveyed recreational male gym users have used steroids, even without medical need or supervision. This documentary explores why and how steroids are becoming normalized among non-professional users, how influencers on social media like YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok promoting their use under the guise of fitness advice, and what the real consequences are, physically, psychologically, and socially. We will examine peer-reviewed evidence from studies on hormonal disruption, cardiovascular risk, social media influence, and emerging public health challenges. Why are regular people taking steroids? While traditional narratives centered around elite athletes, new studies show a cultural shift. Steroids are now commonly used by men who simply want to look better, get leaner, or keep up with influencer physiques. As detailed in the study, Effects of Androgenic Anabolic Steroids in Athletes, users often report using AAS not for competition, but for cosmetic improvement, self-esteem, and social media image management. In the work, Ethical Considerations of Steroid Use for Cosmetic Purposes, the authors argue this reflects an increasing aesthetic pressure, particularly driven by digital self-representation. This raises a main question. In the modern world of use of AAS, what are the consequences? Steroid use is not without risk. Research from the publication Effects of AAS on the Reproductive System outlines severe repercussions. For example, testicular atrophy, infertility, cardiovascular damage, and long-term endocrine disruption. Additional studies document psychological impacts, including body dysmorphia and mood disorders. And yet, the risks are often understated or ignored, especially online. They don't tell you about other secondary effects that might show up in exchange of getting a perfect and muscular bodies. This also depends on the combination or cocktail of AAS, but we can name some of them and their secondary effects in the body. Let's start for the most populars. Testosterone, stanozolol, nandrolone decanoate, methandrostenolone, thexahydrobenzyl carbonate. These substances are currently being used in much higher doses than 50 years ago in Germany. This is combined with a strict diet and an even stricter schedule to ensure no doses in the cycles are ever missed. The dosage may vary slightly depending on the person's fitness level, whether they are a beginner or have real experience at the gym. The ranges vary between 300 and 500 milligrams of testosterone per week to increase muscle mass. The ester, a molecule added to the steroid substance, is used to slow down the pharmacokinetics, allowing the substance to be synthesized in the organism over a longer period in blood. In other words, is the substance lifespan inside the body. In this way, the doses are weekly, making it an easy schedule to maintain for people. We previously mentioned side effects inside our bodies, but what are the visual side effects? Scalp hair loss, body hair growth, acne, joint pain, yellowing of eyes, erectile dysfunction, bloating, gynecomastia in men, extreme irritability and insomnia. So the role of social media and influencers is growing the number of content creators on these platforms and discuss or subtly promote steroid use. Sometimes, while these influencers are claiming a natty status, researchers show how influencers often create content to sell coaching programs, aesthetic goals, or even direct PED products, often targeting young, impressionable users. A study in 2021 further shows how unrealistic body standards amplified by social platforms feed into a cycle of comparison, dissatisfaction, and drug use. This normalization is not passive. It's part of an unregulated, profit-driven online marketplace that deeply shapes user behavior. The normalization of anabolic steroid use among recreational users and influencers is not just a cosmetic issue, it's a public health concern. One of the biggest influencers in the fitness industry was Joe Lindner, better known as Joe Aesthetics on social media, a young German man with millions of followers. While he was selling workout programs and was quite open about his steroid use, this honesty catapulted him to worldwide fame, being his main audience. Young people dissatisfied with their physique, and those wanting to build even more muscle or get leaner bodies. Later in his life, Lindner openly discussed his transition to TRT. He attempted to quit all performance-enhancing drugs for 1 year, but was unable to restore his natural testosterone production, leading him to resume TRT as a lifelong commitment. After that, in his final social media posts and podcasts, he cautioned followers about the long-term effects of hormone therapy, expressing specific concerns about the strain on his heart and muscles. Joe Lindner passed away in July 2023 at the age of 30, due to an aneurysm. Though often dismissed as a personal choice, evidence shows that misuse of AAS carries significant health risks, especially when driven by misinformation and unrealistic online expectations. This documentary revealed how non-professional users are often unaware of long-term consequences, and how social media both glamorizes and monetizes steroid culture, especially for young males. So, what we can do? Steroid use has outgrown the shadows of professional sports. It now thrives in gyms, TikTok feeds, and private messages between influencers and fans. The science is clear. Long-term steroid use carries serious risks. But without education, transparency, or regulation, misinformation will continue to thrive. To combat this, we need better education around performance-enhancing drugs and body image pressure, critical media literacy to spot misleading health content, harm reduction resources, not just fear-based campaigns. And finally, more research is needed on the intersection of social media, aesthetics, and steroid behavior, especially as digital influence continues to shape the next generation's body ideals. This documentary is not intended to criticize, but rather to inform. The recreational use of anabolic-androgenic steroids is no longer confined to elite athletes. It's a growing trend among everyday gym-goers and influencers chasing an idealized body, often without understanding the risks. As the evidence clearly shows across multiple peer-reviewed studies, the short-term physical rewards can come at a long-term cost. But this issue isn't just about individual choices. It reflects a broader public health concern shaped by misinformation, unregulated marketing, and the pressure of digital body culture. Education, honest conversations, and policy reform are essential, not to prohibit or shame users, but to inform them. If we want to change the outcome, we need to change the message. It's time for influencers, health professionals, and communities to lead with truth, not shortcuts, and protect the next generation from making irreversible decisions in pursuit of a temporary aesthetic.